I'm Mark, and I'm half-ass ready. Good morning. All right, we still talking about being a handyman, right? So I'll start with carpentry. I think it's one of the basic skills we all need to know. Um, got to thinking about how I was going to put this into 8 to 10 minutes, and man, honestly, you're going to have to find the skill set to do these things. You need to know, you need to do these things and learn these things. I'm going to give you a basic overview of tools I think you need, uh, some techniques, some terminology. So, being a handyman, you're going to be working on all kinds of stuff right at your house or at your location or at your bug in location or your bug out location. So, there's a lingo, there's a language that goes with each of these trades, and you're going to have to pick some of this up. You're going to have to learn what the hell they're talking about so you know what the hell you're talking about. So, and we'll cover some of that while we have time. But basically, you need to familiarize yourself with the lumber, with sheetrock, with all the things that are go with a carpentry job, right? So, lumber's nominal, 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, then the length. Okay, so 2x6x8 is an 8 foot 2x6, right? Now these boards aren't really 2x6; they're really inch and a half by 5 1/4 because that's the nominal length. The marginal width is what you get when you actually measure it with your tape measure. Okay, what they call it in the store and what it measures when you get home is different. But the industry knows that, so all the tools that you need to go along with this have little helpers on them for these nominal widths and lengths, okay, or widths and thicknesses. Um, Screws, nails, um, sheetrock mud, sheetrock saws. These are all things that you need to familiarize yourself with. Now, I've got a couple of tools here on the counter that I brought up. These are tools that I just think you have to have. Um, you you definitely need a hammer, okay? And now, I personally, because I do a lot of this stuff, I have this tool belt. I have several tool belts. I find this one is perfect. I'm a big single pouch guy. I have double pouch ones for big jobs, but this is perfect to keep your carpentry tools in, the ones you're definitely going to need. Um, the tools that I keep in this bag, you need every time you go to a carpentry job, okay? So those are the tools I'm going to talk about real quick. Tool number one, you need a tape measure, and you need a good tape measure. This is a Stanley. I'm a big Stanley tape measure guy. This is a 25 footer. You can go with a 30 footer, but you need a good tape measure. This tape measure needs to be able to stand on its own out a few feet, and don't do that, right? You want it to be able so you can reach out there and grab the end of the board and measure on and measure. Or you can measure a wall by yourself. So purchase yourself a tape measure and make it a good one. Now, I can do a whole class on all the numbers and how they're color coded on this tape measure. Um, Email me. I'll try to go over this with you. We could do quite a long talk on the cool things that are on a tape measure. All the little markings you see. Every one of those markings has a purpose. Okay, especially when you're framing. These are laid out for framers. But you definitely, tool number one, tape measure. Tool number two, hammer. I don't know why I'm numbering these things because they're all very important to doing a carpentry repair. Uh, I can't live without this tool, Swanson Speed Square. Um, when you purchase this Swanson Speed Square, comes with a book. Uh, don't throw the book away because when you first read it, and especially if you've never done any carpentry work in your life, it's going to look like you're reading the Greek alphabet written backwards and upside down. But this speed square was invented to lay out hips and valleys and do roofing. It's a roofing square. It beats the hell out of an old framing square. But this tool is invaluable for marking square lines when you do your cuts on 2x4. You can do 45s. If you have a 45 and you need a 90-degree joint, there's a 45-degree angle already made. Has an edge on it where it hangs and hooks onto the board. You can draw your line. So, Swanson Speed Square. Make it a good one. They come in plastic or metal. You can get them in several different things. But I like the plastic one. They do break easier, especially when it's cold. But they're much lighter when you're carrying around the tool pouch. And I have several of them, as you can see. Because I have several tool pouches. And sometimes people come over to help and they need a speed square. I have several tape measures. This is just the first one I grabbed. I have many tape measures because you need them. Again, my tool belt's probably number 4. It's just handy to get your tools where you need them to go. You need a pencil. You can get a carpenter's pencil. I use a regular number 2 pencil most of the time. But you need a pencil, and there are pockets in your tool belt just for pencils. You need a pencil. You need more than one pencil. You probably need a way to sharpen said pencil. Of course, I keep a pocket knife in my pocket all the time, so you need something to sharpen said pencil. I'm a big fan of having a level when I'm doing carpentry work. Not a necessity. It is to me. I want it to be plumb and square, and that's something we'll talk about on the language side of this. There's lots and lots and lots of specialty tools that come along with carpentry. This is a framing hammer. I also have a finish hammer when I'm doing finish work. That's the little trim boards and stuff inside your house. Those, you need those tools also. I'm just saying, you need those tools also. You need a drill on your job site. To pre-drill holes so you don't split wood. But this is a very important tool. A skill saw, a circular saw. This one's 7 1/4 inch. Will cut anything I need to cut to do any carpenter job I intend to do. They make them bigger. They make them smaller. They make them battery powered. But you need a skill saw, and you need a good skill saw, and you need a good blade. I have several. I've tried them all. I like the Ryobi. I'm a big fan of Makita. I have a big DeWalt that I really like. So I have lots of skill saws. I have a Porter Cable cordless skill saw that comes in very handy when you're doing a small job, especially when you're not near power. All these things I'm telling you too, remember grid down. I mean, because we're preppers, right? First and foremost, we're preppers. So grid may be down. So you need to think about replacements for these things. Hand saws, hand drills. We need to think about those and put those in your toolkit. I have them in mind. Those tools, the manual tools, I keep over there on that side of the shop. So I didn't pull those out, again, for time constraints. Miter boxes to cut those 45-degree angles, 33-degree angles, 27-degree angles. You're going to cut a lot of angles sometimes, especially when you're doing trim. I have an electric DeWalt miter saw, chop saw, whatever you want to call it. Again, lingo on these things. But I also have a manual miter box. that works with a straight back saw, and it works fine, especially for cut and trim. It works. I can cut, and I can actually take that thing anywhere I need to take it, and I don't have to walk back to the saw table to cut something on the electric miter box. I use my plastic, nothing fancy miter boxes all the time. Uh, Again, I don't know how deep you want to get in, but if you want to be a handyman, you've got to get a little deeper in the water than you want to. You're going to need tools that you probably don't have. If you've never done it, you probably don't have them. You're going to need a place to put said tools. I have lots of these tool bags. I have different colors, different sizes, because I do go to other places and do work sometimes. So when I do that, it's an easy place to put my hand tools. But when my hand tools are not traveling or working, I have this shop. If you don't have a shop, you're going to have to find a place to store these tools. But you need them. In our survival situation, shit hit the fan, you need these tools. And you're going to need other tools, because when I continue on with this series of videos, we're going to talk about plumbing and electricity and other things. There are tools that are associated with those particular jobs that you're going to need. So you need to be finding a place to put your tools. We're going to talk about mechanical. Everybody needs to be a little bit of a mechanic too, and you're going to need mechanical tools. And you talk about getting into some specialty stuff, man, and some big stuff that takes up some space. So just be thinking about that as you're deciding to become a handyman. Okay, and I encourage everyone to become a handyman. Look, I had actually written this note for the last part of this video, but I'm going to say it now because it's really on my mind. Don't panic. If you've never been a handyman and now you have to be a handyman, don't panic. There is nothing you can mess up that somebody can't fix. Now the price goes up. It gets more expensive. But there's nothing you can mess up that we can't fix. Okay? But familiarize yourself with the language that these guys use. Plumb and square. Plumb is level, straight up and down, right? Square is it's actually 90-degree angles on all four corners. Plumb is level. Square is good. Level is good, because when you're adding on to these things, that's your goal. You want everything to be straight and level. But familiarize yourself with the types of lumber. There's types of lumber. There's 3 or 4 different kinds of sheetrock. There's 3 or 4 different kinds of plywood. There's several different types of 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 2x10, 2x12. There's green treated and there's not treated, and depending on what you're doing, what type of wood you need. Do you need marine grade? Is it going in a bathroom? Do you need marine grade for the bathroom? So you need to familiarize yourself with these things. Go to Lowe's and walk around, or Home Depot, whatever it is that's near you, Menards, whatever you have. But go there and walk around and look, ask questions. Ask questions. Get on YouTube and Google and ask these questions. Get yourself familiarized with what the hell people are talking about. Man, watch This Old House on PBS. It's exactly, when I was a kid, I watched This Old House. It's what got me interested in becoming a carpenter. Now, I've never really fully became a carpenter. I did other things. But it got me to the ability to not panic and fix what was torn up at my house. Look, whether you're a survivalist or not, and whether you're a survivalist or not, whether you're a prepper or not, the price of things keeps going up. The price of hiring someone to do these jobs for you is going up. This makes nothing but perfect sense on you doing the jobs that you can do. And there are lots of jobs that you can do yourself without hiring a professional. There are jobs that you need a professional for, especially if you're just a handyman. But There are jobs you can do yourself. So get that knowledge. Text me with or ask me questions in the comment section. Email me with your questions. Not that I may be the guy to answer them, but at least you're thinking about it, and we'll figure it out who you need to ask, right? Where do you get this information? But I think for me, I got most of this information by doing it myself. And I want to encourage, that's the purpose behind these videos. I want to encourage you to do this yourself. So I'm going to leave carpentry there. Carpentry is a huge subject. We can dive in real deep. But I want to leave it there because I want you to ask those questions of yourself. And next time we're going to talk about plumbing. And but right now we're going to end up on carpentry right there. Appreciate y'all listening. Good to be back in the shop. Nice fall day. So I'm going to go out and do a little work myself. I have quite a few projects going on. So thanks for tuning in. Remember to tell the ones you love that you love them. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. Let's get full ass ready.